Chapter 705. There was pretty much only one ongoing battle now. Wilbur took on these countless ghostly soldiers on his own. The Ark King stared intently at the girl next to the man for a while before finally saying, "A soulless, these surprises just keep on coming in, don't they?" A soulless. It was the first time Wilbur had heard of the term, and he could not help but look at the girl again. "Sir, could you please concentrate? We're at high risk here," Ryder could not help but say. Wilbur killed 2 ghostly soldiers with a scoff. "It's hard work. What's wrong with looking around?" Ryder was speechless, while Isabella frowned worriedly. "Bro, this really isn't time to be looking at girls." Wilbur did not know what to say to that. He was just curious. What were these two thinking? "You should be worrying about yourself. You won't be able to hold on for much longer from the way I see it." The man jeered at Wilbur. Wilbur sneered. "I don't need your advice, thanks. We'll see how this goes then." The man laughed, loud and arrogant. Just then, however, the Ark King smiled warmly at the ghostly girl next to him. "Aelia, my dearest daughter, thank you for sacrificing yourself to be by my side. Could you help me with one more thing?" The girl nodded, and the Ark King smiled. "Kill that soulless." Aelia turned to look at the girl next to the man, whose expression turned into one of terror at once. "What are you looking so scared for? Kill her," the man said viciously. The girl nodded weakly. Wilbur frowned at the sight. The girl had so much power in her, but it seemed like she did not really know how to use it and was only being controlled. Wilbur was certain that with some training, she would grow to become a terrifying existence for sure. It was a shame that the man did not appreciate her, ordering her around like a maid. Just then, Aelia's pale body began walking towards the girl slowly. The girl seemed to be rather cowardly and started to back up. Yet the man yelled at her, and she eventually had no choice but to stand still looking terrified. Just then, Aelia's body floated into midair. Spiritual energy surged out of her, as a wave of spiritual pressure spread out at the same time. Aelia's body began to change, and it did not take long before she morphed into what looked like a villainess with antlers on her head and wings on her back. Gray symbols appeared all over her body as a terrifying force began brewing inside her. Wilbur, still fighting, stole a glance at Aelia every now and then. The man's expression began to turn into one of fear. Just then, Aelia channeled all her powers and let out a sharp howl. The air in the castle was constricted in fuzzy lines as her voice pierced into the souls of everyone present. "Howl of the Banshee." Wilbur's expression shifted. He let out a roar, channeling all his spirit energy into a silver spirit shield that he threw around himself, Isabella and Ryder. The girl began to crumble under the power of the howl of Banshee, collapsing to the ground in agony. At the same time, the girl's power seemed to fade as well. The countless ghostly soldiers seemed to find a new target the next second, throwing themselves onto the girl. The man's expression darkened at once. Just then, Logan let out an enraged roar. His body lit up with spiritual flames and attacked with his fists. His fists hurtled forward, full of power and force. Yet they merely passed right through the ghostly soldiers' bodies and could not harm them in the slightest. The men began to panic at last, shouting, "Get them, Logan! You get the fuck up too!" Lily Sharn,